Some of you may already know, if not, you better ask somebody, that President Joe Biden made a campaign promise to forgive some, if not all, student loan debt. The administration, legislators, and other proponents of the idea want anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 to all student loan debt wiped out. In fact, Senator Elizabeth Warren from the state of Massachusetts, Democrat, and Senator Chuck Schumer from the state of New York want either $50,000 wiped out or the entire loan debt, the entire student loan debt wiped out for borrowers. This plan, according to them, will allow legislators to help close the racial wealth gap. Blacks and other minorities hold a disproportionate amount of that debt. The forgiveness will benefit a large proportion of the 41 million student borrowers in this country. Even politicians, they've come out to say that they still owe money to the federal government due to all this student loan debt. The Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, a nonpartisan think tank, found that this would cost the federal government $230 billion. Nonetheless, the Federal Reserve reported that forgiveness of $10,000 per borrower would forgive a total of $321 billion of federal student loans, eliminate the entire balance for 11.8 million borrowers, that's 31.1%, and cancel 30.5% of loans delinquent or in default prior to the pandemic forbearance. Now, people familiar with this matter, I guess officials from the administration, they leaked this information to the Washington Post, and the Washington Post went on to report that the details of this plan may be revealed when President Joe Biden delivers his commencement speech to the University of Delaware this weekend. The plan will reportedly include individuals who make less than $150,000 a year and couples who make less than $300,000 a year. Now, the problem, the snag, exists where the Education Department and the Treasury can't readily release tax information. I guess the legislators are the other part of the government. There's so much bureaucracy. I don't understand how, because everybody's supposed to be working together on this. And legislation to ease those restrictions will last up to 2 years. So 2 years' time before they get the ball rolling on this idea. That's even rumored because even the Washington Post spoke to these people on the condition of anonymity. The federal government so far pausing the repayments of student loans since March of 2020. It has cost them about $50 billion per year, according to this nonpartisan think tank. Just last month, the Biden administration extended the pause on student loan repayments through August 31st, 2022. Today, the president announced that our administration is pausing federal student loan repayments through August 31st, 2022. This pause will help 41 million people keep up their monthly bills and meet their basic needs. It will give borrowers some urgently needed time to prepare for a return to repayment. So they still want you to pay this money back. That's why they're pushing back on $10,000, pushing back on $50,000, and definitely potentially not going to wipe out the entire student debt. I don't know why, because there are places on this planet, this is the best country on this planet nonetheless, that do not charge you for college. And that's probably the way it should be. If you want to enhance the economy, you want to ensure that people are always working. As I've told you before, as I told you on a previous video, there will always be a market for an educated brain. So if you educate yourself and constantly improve and enhance your skills to sell products or services, to sell your skills and also become very proficient in whatever it is that you do, you will always be successful regardless of whatever market conditions, regardless of all of these increased listings in housing and all these people flooding the market with their houses because they're scared that the market is crashing. And now that there's a bear market rally, all these people are speculating and wondering whether this is actually a rally in which I want to invest to go buy in the dip. No. You enhance your skills, you're able to do it, but the government should help you to do that as much as possible. This is something that the president and the administration have given strong consideration due to slumping approval ratings. A large proportion of young voters, they favor student loan forgiveness. And in fact, take a look at this recent report from Bloomberg. The bad news for President Joe Biden is that his popularity has fallen this past week into dead last place of the 13 presidents during the polling era. None has been in worse shape at this point in his first term almost 500 days into a presidency, than Biden's 40.5% approval rating. That's according to 538's estimate. So if you want to jump on this, you got to remember the administration has already forgiven $18.5 billion in student loans for public servants and other people who have been defrauded by the institution in which they got educated, right? So if you want to learn how to do that, I went ahead and included a link to a brief guide on studentaid.gov that tells you an overview of how you should go ahead and apply for forgiveness. See if you qualify. Like I've told you time and time again, like when you are applying for grants, go ahead and apply, see what they tell you, and perhaps they'll give you a better idea as to how you fulfill the requirements in the event that you don't. And if you do, then you just got it. Light up the comment section below, and then I'll go ahead and report on your success, and may God bless you and make you successful in everything that you're doing. So I've gone ahead and include a link to this student loan forgiveness brief on the students tab right here, student loans forgiveness. Let me be frank with you. I'm Neal with you. Point blank, I'm with you in this day and age, although I attribute all of my family's and my businesses' financial success and stability to my formal education, graduating at top 2% in the Borough of Manhattan Community College, getting a scholarship into New York University. This is the information age. You do not have to get into tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to learn how to do anything you want to do in this lifetime, to be successful in this lifetime. And we have facilitated that process for you here at Rod Squad by listing all of these information resources to free education right here on the tab labeled free education. And you can access this spreadsheet by subscribing to our newsletter at bit.ly/NealRod. I always include a link to the landing page where you can subscribe to our newsletter in the video description below and the top pinned comment. As I've told you time and time again, you want to learn how to do SEO, which is the process of you configuring your website so you could welcome the highest amount of people possible. In other words, people who are actually querying search terms that describe your product or service. You can go ahead and visit Reddit SEO right here. And there are other search engine optimization professionals who share their case studies. Look, welcome. We are glad to you decided to stop by. This Reddit was created with the intent to foster growth and knowledge about SEO and all disciplines of inbound marketing. In other words, inbound marketing, as opposed to you having to knock door to door. That's what got me into this thing. I wanted to learn how to have people come search for me, search for my products or services, which is what I am doing now. And I got to start. I made my bones doing that through learning search engine optimization. You want to learn how to make beer money, right? It's a community for people to discuss mostly online money-making opportunities. Take a look. This week's grocery haul, I got paid $36 to take $147 worth of makeup, tweezers, nail clippers, drinks, candy, snacks, and more. Here are the goodies. People get paid. Look, 40,000 drop points for any purchase at wine.com. Anybody having any luck with NCP Mobile? So they describe all kinds of ways for you to launch side hustles, which as it is non-W2 filed income, it is considered a small business. And I've told you time and time again, start your small business, because that's the way that all the resources that this country has available to people actually come flowing to you. And that's what you want. Have as many resources as possible. 3 guys to help you host your space on Airbnb right here. And I list this on the free education. You don't pay a dime. All you do is invest your time into it. You don't have to get, and this education is probably worth as much as the tens of thousands of dollars, because listen, I went to school for journalism. Nonetheless, I learned how to do all the inbound marketing stuff, all of the details and the tactics and the logistics of being before you today through online education, through self-education, visiting forums and asking questions, and then representing clients who needed that information. Fortune 500, the biggest, the most iconic brands on the planet, they needed the information because their C-level executives were clueless as to this stuff, right? I volunteered the Black Girls Code, where I taught students nationwide how to code using Python and other applications. I mean, this will actually encourage you to go ahead and learn these technologies, because you want to help these kids become tomorrow's computer scientists and technology professionals, right? Learning with Google right here. Look, how to do module 11, migrating from Google App Engine to Cloud Functions, animating elements in Jetpacks, Compose, Lunch Tray app. Now, you need the basics. This is a little more complex, right? But look, they have introductory stuff right here. Add Firebase to your Flutter app. Implement, and even if you want to get even more basic than that, computer science circles. When I lost my son 6 months into my wife's pregnancy, into our pregnancy, I went on this platform for about a month, and I went crazy with this stuff. I mean, I needed something to occupy, to lower my DMN, right, the default mode network activity that was stressing me. And it's like basically solving puzzles using Python. And you learn the Python computer language, and this will give you a foundation upon which you could learn more complex technologies if you want to build. Otherwise, as I told you before, you can visit a website like Fiverr and buy people, or buy people's time to go ahead and do stuff for you, like, you know, build mobile app right here, just like it reads right there. Build mobile app, and you got people that can build mobile applications for you at a penny of what it costs, at pennies of a dollar, you know, because let's say you get an app for $200, $400, $500, and you sell it out to someone who has the money to pay for it for $5,000. Look how much money you made. You probably made over 20 times your money, right? Google Python class. This is a basic Google Python class. Again, giving you the structure. I went through this as well. It's a 3-day class. Each of them, I think, lasts around, I think it was like 5 classes, I believe. They have a number of classes here. Just follow along with it. They'll teach you Python. If you want to learn this stuff, listen, there's time to do all this stuff. There's time to watch Netflix. There's time to do whatever. I'm pretty sure you're wasting time doing stuff. You know, I know I do it, and regardless of what, I'm pretty productive. I'm working 7 days a week. So, you know, there's time there. There's time for you to be able to do this. Look, as I've told you before, I told you on my first video in this series of grants for everyone that I hit a career one-stop to have New York State pay me $4,000 so I could learn how to be a CDL truck driver. Now, I never had to do that because I've always been technologically proficient. I took a help desk job in an ISP out in Florida, got Ethernet cable in my veins, taking 60 calls a day, people offline and all kinds of computer problems, helping them with that down south, and I never had to use it. Nonetheless, they gave me $4,000 to do it. So you want to learn how to be, perhaps you want to be a CDL truck driver, you want to start your own CDL trucking fleet, they'll teach you how to do it. Look, short-term training right here. Take a look, and they've got free and low-cost training, Khan Academy, Coursera, Academic. If you take a look at your career one-stop in your state, they'll go ahead and guide you to any training grants available to you. Free journalism classes. Again, you want to be a journalist, you want to blog or whatever, you want to learn to do it the right way, do it through journalism. Journalism, actually, I couldn't be a journalist right out of college because I was doing it the old way. I was trying to send pitches to magazines. I think I sent a pitch to the New Yorker and all the other magazines. No one took my stories. No one wanted to publish me. However, through online marketing actually requires you to develop content. So you want to learn how to develop content in the most objective way possible, or in a way that actually fulfills your agenda, whatever it is. You try to sell a product or service or sell an idea, then go ahead and learn how to do it the right way. Journalism courses, substantiating your sources, finding research, English for journalism, all free stuff right here. Look, supported Google Workspace user, learn by role in industry. Look, you want to learn law practices right here. 10 Google Workspace tips for law practice, collaborating doc. Oh, this is actually a workspace that you use, an application you use to go ahead and facilitate you performing any of these tasks. So sales and marketing, have all these resources right here. Hack the Box, learn cybersecurity through this Hack the Box program. MIT, one of the most prestigious and iconic educational institutions, technological STEM educational institutions on the planet. Okay? Right here, MIT. You've heard of them. Right here. Free and open courses. You can learn how to, and they have this stuff all over YouTube too. Mathematics for computer science. You can learn all this stuff. All you need to do is put the time into it. Keyword Planner. Keyword Planner is something when you're performing search engine optimization and advertising on the search engines will allow you to see what kind of search volume exists for a particular keyword. So let's say you are selling gardening tools and you want to appear for the keyword hoe, right? Which is a gardening hoe. I'm not talking about the other hoe, a gardening hoe. And gardening hoe near me or next to 11357, wherever your zip code is, right? Then you learn how to configure your website by adding those keywords in the content where you're describing that tool, where you're describing the uses of that tool, the best way to use it, where to store it, how to clean it, and you find out what are the keywords that people use that are synonymous to that term by visiting something like the Keyword Planner. It's a thesaurus on steroids, okay, on PEDs, because this thing will give you other keywords that are related to it, other keywords other people are using, and you'll be able to see how many times people are actually performing those queries on a monthly basis. You have an idea of how much search volume, how many people actually visit your website if you optimize your website for that keyword, or if you advertise, if you pay to appear for queries of that keyword through AdWords, through Google Ads rather. How to advertise on Facebook. They got a meta certification on that. It's also for free. And how to sit on my side of this camera right here. Look, YouTube creators. You want to learn how to do this on YouTube? And on YouTube, you can share, you can discuss any idea. Now, we're always talking about drafting these pitches to go ahead and apply for these grants. We're basically looking for funding. So you can get a better idea as to how to request funding. Why not learn from the best? Learn how the biggest and most iconic companies on the planet, like Facebook, Airbnb, Buffer, Square, LinkedIn, were successful in obtaining that funding by taking a look at the pitches that they presented before investors. Watch this video right here so you can see all the grant opportunities and other ways that you can stay immune to any market conditions that exist and still be successful.